This is an episode about pruning a gooseberry bush. And as I was pruning this bush, I'm thinking, you know, with civilization as it is, and agribusiness as it is, and food available in grocery stores as it is, why am I bothering doing this work? But in reality, this really isn't that much work, you know, as compared to some of our ancestors, where maybe they didn't have that little bit of knowledge they needed to make their lives easier. They worked from sun up to sundown just to be able to survive. So this little bit of work I'm doing is absolutely nothing. And the reward is so huge because the food that's growing in my backyard is just that much more healthier than anything I can buy out there in a grocery store. I don't care what the label says. So with that, let's move along. Here's a gooseberry that I want to prune. And you can tell the newer shoots from the old ones. The newer ones are light brown and these old ones are almost blue. But the old ones are coming out of here, and I'm going to thin out the new shoots a little bit too. I let them grow wild. I wanted to see how they would do. And they still produce okay. But I think they're going to do a lot better if they're pruned. I sat here and just gorged myself a couple of days on this one plant. Okay. Ooh, that's a big one. I might have to get the saw for that one. Yeah, I'll get the saw for that one. Ouch! This one's got good spines. Liven up my immune system. That's what I think about that. Okay. I'm going to take this big one here. Out of there. Then I'll take a couple of the smaller ones that are on the bottom. I'm going to get shaded out anyway. There's a big old one. This looks like it's been damaged by mice. Ah, got it. Yeah, I gotta get the saw for this one. I got an electric saw. That'll do that one pretty good. Let's pull it out of there and see what it looks like. Ooh, this one's in here. Ooh, I have a tip layer of one here. We'll pull it all, the whole thing out by the roots. You can see this. You can see I tip layered it. You can see where I bent I just broke it, but I bent it and stuck the tip of the branch in the ground, and look at the roots it grew. Yeah, that's a really nice plant. So I don't like this. This plant isn't as good as some of the other ones I have. It's okay. It's prolific, but it's not quite as sweet. So all of these I can cut and stick them in the ground, and they got a high potential of making roots just like this one did. Even though it's not tip layered, it'll be just sunk in and it'll have to grow its own roots. And I got a pawpaw patch in the back, and I plan on making gooseberries part of the understory. Okay, got another one here to pull out of. Alright, now you can see it's really thinned out. Now it's ready for a good productive year. There's two really nice ones. This one is a good one. And then it actually crosses with another one that heads off in the other direction. That's a nice one. I think those two are going to be loaded. And these other ones also are going to be pretty good. I trim them off pretty good out here at the edges so I don't brush against them all the time. I've got enough gooseberries that I'm not worried about getting maximum production. But the important thing to notice here is we got some really nice shoots coming out that are growing straight up. These are going to be the replacements in 2 years. And I thinned this one out a little bit too. This one hasn't been very productive, but it's kind of on its way, so I let it go. It's next to the pea shrub there. And I'm interested to find out if that pea shrub doesn't kick in some nitrogen to this stuff. If it doesn't start to produce here pretty soon, I'm going to yank it out. We'll see. It's probably the Russian orange. But this is a male sea berry. And now I'm going to let some sunlight in here. I'm going to cut a couple of these lower branches off. Now look at the sapsuckers have been working on it. Come on. There we go. Those are sapsucker holes. There, right there. This is a hugelkultur of balsam fir and cedar. And I already planted some more gooseberries. This is a different variety. I think this is the, oh, it's got an Asian name. There's another one there. There's another one right here. And this is the female sea berry I planted. So that'll round out this hugelkultur. I originally planted 10 gooseberries on it. The ones that grew the best are the ones I left, and then these two are the only two that remained. I transplanted the ones that were really sweet out of here and put them into a more prominent location. And that's what's left. So now I've got some sweeter ones here in the front again. I'm going through a transition. I brought the best ones to the front, and now I'm bringing it all back because I want to have more room for main crops. So now I've got this mess here that I'm going to work through, and I'll go ahead and put the branches in water, and when they start to sprout leaves, then I'll plant them. Here's that plant that I took up that was tip layer and had the roots. You can see the roots right here. I planted it really deep in the hole because it'll go ahead and it'll grow roots on the surface right here. And now because I got roots deep, if it's a dry year, I won't have to water it. It's down there far enough. And then these are some of the fresher, smaller branches. I just put them all in the same hole. This is kind of an experiment. I haven't done it this time of the year before. So we'll see if they're able to make roots. I got plenty of plants so I can experiment. And here's the bulk of what I pruned out of that gooseberry. I just have them in water now because it's still March. It's going to take time for all this stuff to start working, so maybe it'll grow the roots in there before it starts to bud out its leaves. We'll see. It's in the shade here, so I think it'll work. We'll see. It's an experiment. And that's it. A freshly pruned gooseberry plant. And these plants up here were actually tip layers from this one. So they should be productive this year too. I can taste gooseberries as I do this. I know I eat so many when I'm harvesting them that after a while you get kind of tired of eating them. And then you don't eat them anymore, and it takes a couple months and you kind of miss it. Now I'm really missing it. So March, April, May, June, July. I think July. Yeah, July is when they start making berries. I guess that's not so long away. Okay, that's a wrap. So right here are the thorns that I'm dealing with on this particular gooseberry plant that I finished pruning. And they're consistent all the way along the bushes. Now there are some gooseberries that don't have thorns, but then you don't get the benefit of exercising your immune system. Look at the scratches I got. Some of this resulted in even blood coming out. Look at that's what gets your immune system working. That's probably why I like picking blackberries and out in the wild too, because they got really some sharp thorns.